Okay. All right. Do you feel like you're in like a pyramid or anything?
I feel like, yeah, it's some sort of, I don't know if it's a pyramid, but it's some sort of temple structure. I mean, the ceilings are like high, they're very high. So I don't feel like it's like an inner chamber of a pyramid or something like that, but I feel like it's a temple of religious significance, and they're preparing my body. And I'm like laid out on the slab.
What religion do you feel like you guys belong to? Is it a countrywide religion?
Yeah,
Everybody's the same.
yeah, it's widely accepted. It's throughout the whole country.
Mm-hmm. And who's the pharaoh? Who's the ruler at that time?
The guy that died.
Yes. What's his name?
I don't know. I feel like it's like, I don't know. I feel like he's like one of the super early pharaohs.
What does it sound like to you?
What's the pharaoh's name? I don't know. It's like something with a G, maybe? Like a I don't know.
I want to see if you can hear somebody say his name. Imagine you hearing someone say his name. What does it sound like? If you could just make out, even if it sounds strange, like what would you say would be the closest?
Like a Ziowa or something like that? Like it was I feel like it's, I get like a G and then also an A. Like there's two different senses I get from it, so I don't know if one is a nickname and one is like more of a formal name
Okay.
that they're calling him.
And how did he die?
It was natural causes. He wasn't murdered. I think it was just like natural causes. You know, it was just like,
How old was he when he died?
he was young because we were young. My husband and I were young, I would say early 20s. Maybe even earlier than that, maybe even early teens. I mean, I feel like whatever it was,
Was he sickly or something, or did somebody poison him?
I don't feel he was always sickly in health. It wasn't like, I don't get the sense he was always having problems, or if he did, he hid them well. Is maybe better how I should say. So if he had any type of health issues, I get the sense that he wanted to appear strong to everyone, and it was some sort of underlying health issues, but it was hidden well. It wasn't, people didn't know about this, you know. I mean, even the inner family was like, get whispers of it here or there, but he would really shrug it off like he was fine. And he wanted to really present a strong face to people. So he didn't like to talk about it. He was very uncomfortable talking about it. And I think it was ultimately what took him out, because he didn't address the health issues. He kind of was like one of those like man's man. Like he would just shrug it off, and it could have been prevented, you know, like if he would have actually addressed it and been more open about it, I feel like it could have been prevented and healed, but he was kind of unwilling to deal with that because he didn't want to look weak to anyone.
Yes. Yes. So did he have a family? Did he have kids and a wife?
I think he had a boy, and he had a wife.
And did they all have to die as well?
They didn't die.
Why didn't they die?
The son didn't. The son did not die. The wife died. but not the sun. No, no, they let the sun live.
How was that possible? I thought everybody would have to go, or was he not considered a protector?
No, I think because it was like he was so young, it was not the son's duty to protect the dad, it was more his duty to carry on the lineage. So they didn't take the son, they weren't gonna take the son. Now he wanted his wife with him in the afterlife. Of course he wanted his son, I'm sure there, but it was more of a duty for the son to be in the lineage versus protect the dad in the afterlife. The dad had an army. I mean, the dad took damn near everyone. I mean, he took servants, he took the family. There was a whole bunch of people wiped out with the dad passing, you know. But the son is not. It's not his place. It's just not his place. It's not how I did it.
Okay. And do you know if Cleopatra or Nefertiti was around in your days?
I mean, Nefertiti seems more familiar than Cleopatra. It was almost like you knew of her. You know, I don't feel that I had any direct. I didn't know her personally, but it was.
Was it alive in your days?
Yeah, but I don't feel that she was. This is wherever she was. I feel like it's a different town, like a different city. Like you definitely knew of her. It was almost like she was like celebrity status, you know.
Did you ever see her in person at all throughout your life?
No, I never saw her. But again, these are things you hear throughout towns, like throughout, you know, you hear of her and things like that. But she, you know, I never had a chance to see her.
Did she have a good reputation? People love her, or did they fear of her, or were they curious about it?
It was like a celebrity, like in our day, a celebrity. I don't think they feared her. It was more of just an honor. And, you know, they were like wowed by her presence. Like it would be an honor to meet her. It would be an honor to be in her presence.
Was it true that she was 12 feet tall?
Maybe that's why she's coming into my mind's eye as being a celebrity. I get this feeling that she's very upheld. So I don't know if it's that she's actually tall in stature, but it's almost like she's beyond us. I can't.
I heard she came from the stars and that she was like 12 feet tall. They had spaceships. Did you guys see spaceships in your days?
I don't know if she was 12 feet tall or not, but I definitely believe she came from the stars because of the significance placed on her. Like the way people talk about her, she's beyond humans. She's beyond us. She's above us in the sense that yeah, she came from somewhere else, and that she I don't want to say is a god. It is like god level, you know, like she's like definitely. I'm sorry, what was the question? You said was she 12 feet tall, and then she came from
yeah, so let me ask you then, did you guys practice astrology or astronomy or astrophysics in your days?
Yeah, it wasn't common knowledge. It wasn't common knowledge to everybody though. I mean, these are things that are very well known about, but it was more of like certain people got to know it. It wasn't like you sat down in school and they taught you these things. Like they taught you general knowledge of things to a certain level, but anything that was held sacred or regarded as like supernatural, I would say, was not like commonplace for like everybody to know. It wasn't allowed for everybody to know. These were things for like the holy men, the priests, whatever you want to call them. That was their place to know like the inner workings of those things. So not everybody like knew the details of that stuff.
I see. Wonderful. Do you feel like you were a high priestess or a priestess in any way? Did you get to study any of these arts, sacred knowledge?
I wasn't regarded as like a high priestess because I was like, you know, because of my position and the relation that my husband had to the pharaoh. Yeah, I did get to see like a glimpse into stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool, but it was never like fully, like, so I could participate in like the wedding celebration, the rituals for our baby that took place. Like they didn't do that stuff for like just common folk, you know. So like in that sense, like I got to see like some of those rituals and our wedding rituals. They were different rituals than what, like, I don't want to say normal people, but like people that were not connected to some, you know, form of royalty. But even though I wasn't royalty, yeah, I got to see like a glimpse into that. So I got to see bits and pieces, but it was always a sense of very much just like, well, these people know way more than they're leading on to, especially like common folk, because I saw it from both ways. Like I grew up in a house that didn't know of any of this stuff. And the common people knew that it existed, and they kind of knew that the people in higher power had these rituals and this knowledge, and they weren't upset that they didn't get to know it, but it was more of like, it was considered something holy, like not everybody got to know about it. And that was like, okay, like people just accepted that.
Nice. So did you guys know about like star people and people from other planets back then, or was it all oh, we're the only ones in the universe, or did you guys know about star people?
Yeah, there was a sense of even the common people, like the common people and the royalty people much more so than, you know, they ever alluded to like common folk, but everybody in general knew of that going on, and they knew, but it was almost like the other people were more connected, you know, but everybody knew that it happened. Like there were beings, I would call them, that it's not like they walked around the street. Like you wouldn't see these people just walking around the street, but it was like you knew that they existed. It was more of that they visited the people that were like, I don't know if you want to call them like oracles or like the priests, but it was more of they have more of a connection to that than other people, but everybody knew that it existed. And like even the way things seemed to be built then, like it was like it's a system in that sense. Like no one was out there with a hammer and nails in some of these buildings, you know, like these things were definitely assisted, and everybody knew that. It wasn't like a big secret. Like that was just like common knowledge where, yeah, there were definitely star people. There were people that I want to say they were like glowing people. They were like, and you almost couldn't tell. It's super weird, like to kind of view it. It was almost like, I don't want to say they were holographic or holograms or almost like see-through. They were almost like a see-through glowing, like atmosphere of gold, these things. And you wouldn't, they weren't like walking around on the street. It's not like I don't even know how I honestly know that they're there, but they weren't walking around in the street. You wouldn't like see them if you were in some sort of ceremony. And I can't place how I know that they're there, but everybody knew that they were there. You know, I don't know if it's like some alternate dimension, and I don't even know why I'm getting like a physical picture of them, but people knew, like everybody knew that they were there and they were present, that they were helping us, that they were giving us information on every level, you know, on levels of like building stuff, on just knowledge of like healing, general knowledge. But these things didn't want to be perceived as that too. You know, they didn't want to be perceived as some gods. And the people in these positions of power, they were like making them into some gods. They were just really hyping them up. So it's almost like they weren't cool with that. Like they were just kind of like, hey, we're here. Like imagine if you had a neighbor knock on your door and he hands you a basket of fruit. You don't want to bow down to them and be like, oh, you're God, thank you. Like, no, like they wanted to be seen as like almost equal. And the people at that time didn't perceive them as equal. They exalted them as like this huge wonderful thing, because the knowledge that they had was so far past what people had at that time, but they really didn't like being hyped up like that. So they kind of faded off into the distance, faded off into the background after they went to so much. Like they did so much for us, and they were like, okay, this is like out of control. Like these people are worshiping us. This is nuts. This was not our intent. We came here to help you, and we just want to be seen on the same plane, and you're getting out of control. Like, taking it to this next level, making it into something that it's not. So it was almost like their message was accepted at first and received, but then it kind of got out of control with where where people of the time took it. Like they were taking it to a place that was like, I don't know, they were like doing sacrifices and like they didn't want to be in this thing. They were just simply giving us knowledge. They just wanted to be seen as our friend. Yes, they were in a different like plane of existence, but like they did not want to be all this hoopla surrounding them that people started doing for them.
The people took it to the dark side?
Oh, they took it to the dark side and the light side because the religion was very much based of like, it's the balance of things. So when things would be perceived out of balance, and I mean, this could be anything. It could be a weather event. It could be a normal cycle of crops going bad or something like that. I mean, these people got out of control and they were like acting like it was this some great act of God, whenever really it was just like, hey man, you could have tended to this thing a little bit better. It was something very earthly. So they got lost in the sense of these things coming down because once they realized they existed, it got out of control in their minds of like everything has some sort of significance. Every little thing that is unbalanced had some sort of significance and they wanted to do something to put it back into that balance. So I mean, this could be as far as like sacrifices, killing somebody, or it could be offerings, it could be gifts. But their lives got almost out of control with the fact that these beings existed and were offering this aid of help because they almost became like obsessed with it. Like it was like an obsessive compulsive disorder to where nothing normal could happen. The sun could not just go up and come down. I mean, it was like, earthly cycles and things like that were very much perceived to the umpteenth degree of like some being or some, the beings are mad at us and we have to get them back into our favor, or we should offer sacrifices to reset the balance of things, or we should, it just got out of control. Like I don't know how else to describe it other than that. It just stuff got really out of control.
So let me ask you, did during your time, and these beings were around, would you say this was after the flood, your days?
I feel like it's super early on. I don't put it in a timeline before or after the flood. I don't know. It's just,
trying to think.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a point of reference.
I need to study my Egyptian history. Did you write scrolls and stuff like that in your days? Were you able to write books or anything like that in your time?
As far as like the rituals and things, or in general,
well,
yeah.
I know you wanted to be a scribe early on in your life. Did you get to do any of that when you got married?
Oh, I didn't really have to. I mean, I was a very kept person. I more or less did it I think I more or less did it for fun. It wasn't like a profession that paid money.
Right.
Because my husband took very well, he took great care of me. But it was cool because the buildings that he was building, I feel that he would take my drawings and I didn't put them in there. I didn't chisel them into the wall. But it was almost like I would help him like draw up the rough drafts of like the layouts of how the hieroglyphics were gonna be on the walls. And like he would take that then to somebody else and they would do like the actual hard work. I didn't do that, but I would help like the designs and the layout of spatially where it was going.
Okay. Yes. Awesome. Do you feel connected to any type of tombs or pyramids in your days? Is there any names that are coming to you that you feel drawn to, that if you go to Egypt, you should go revisit?
I feel like again, there's an A name. The only thing that comes to mind is Swan, but I also don't feel like that's it. I feel like there's another A name that's a city that it used to be called that. It's not called that in present day. The only thing present day is saying is like Aswan, but that's not it. That's not the place that I helped build. This place is like, and it's hard to see the name, but geographically it's like up to the right. Like if you were looking at Egypt, the whole in a country, if you were to look on the right, like the top right side, like up in that chunk, like if you were taking it and quarter it, it would be the up quadrant, up right hand side quadrant.
Okay. Beautiful. Now, let me ask you this. On your wedding day, did you have like, bridesmaids and like a wedding party to help you together, to get yourself together? And rituals and stuff? Did you have like friends there with you, or was it all royalty, ritualistic type stuff?
It's different than how like an American wedding would be, because it was more of, there were servants, and then there were more of like people that were like, I want to say like a priest, an oracle, that were kind of doing like ritualistic things throughout the way, but it was more like servants. So in that sense, it didn't feel like today's standards of a wedding where you would have like your friends helping you or stuff like that. It was more of like servant people, and then like I don't know, I would have felt like an oracle person kind of helping you do things energetically along the way and prepare in that sense.
Beautiful. Now, let me ask you one last question. Do you know if I was there with you in Egypt in your time in this life? Did we know each other?
Did we know each other in Egypt? I feel that we were like, yes, whenever we were younger, I feel like we were like down, like I get a sense that you're down the street from me, like we were like childhood friends.
Let's go to that time. Let's go to the time when you were a childhood, and when, if you can tap into my energy, if I'm there with you, let's just have a little moment and see if we can tap into that. So you said we were playing like kickball or something?
Yeah, I feel like our parents are friends. Like I feel like our parents are also friends, and then so that's why we were around each other initially, but then we became very good friends. Yeah, and there's like a ball. It's like a ball thing that you kind of kick around. Like I guess you could compare it to like a kickball or something. Um, the kids in the neighborhood would play, but you were always the first person that I'd go get to play the game. And then we get the other neighborhood kids would come out.
Oh, nice. What was my name? Do you know if you can hear what it was? I know the names sound pretty funny, but is there a nickname or a name that I went by in those days?
What is your name?
Was I a boy, a girl?
You're a girl.
Okay, beautiful.
Um, I want to say Ayana. It's a very pretty sounding name. It sounds like Ayana.
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. And so so we were friends. We got to play a lot.
Yeah, we would play outside. Everybody seemed to play outside. And our families were friends, so sometimes we would eat dinners together. I don't know if there's like a holiday or something where we'd eat dinner together, but it was almost like we were not like blood related, but our families were so close that it was like that. Like our families had to become each other's families.
Beautiful. And what did I look like there? Did I look similar to you? Were we the same culture?
Yeah. You're tan and you have dark hair. You have long dark hair. And we both, whenever we're little, we have like chubby little faces. We're very cute. We're very cute looking like them. Just like kind of chubby little faces.
Hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. And so, when you ended up getting married, and did I get to see you after that, or did we lose touch?
I kind of feel like, yeah, that we did lose touch a bit with that because I wasn't in the same town then. I had gone from the town that I grew up in. And so just distance wise, it wasn't like there was bad blood or anything, but it was almost like hard to stay close with the spatial distance as far as like where we were living.
Right. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Is there anything else you want to remember about this time? Anything curious to see, like if the Sphinx is around, and what does it really look like, or anything like that?
No, I think I got pretty good visuals of what was there already. I'm happy to discover what we discovered so far.
Well, let me ask one last question because I just heard something. What is it true that the Sphinx originally was Anubis, or do you see it as what do you see it as?
Okay. I know the Sphinx wasn't. I mean, it wasn't in the town that I was in, but I'll just try to go there. I don't feel that. I don't know. I mean, I do kind of feel like maybe I've seen it once or twice in this lifetime, but I also feel like it's not in the town that I was in. I feel like it's a decent distance away.
You traveled to it maybe with your husband?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen it in passing, or maybe the start of the construction of it. I don't know. I'm not getting a clear picture of it because I don't know if it's the talk of it being built, which then my next question is, can I see these blueprints? Tell me, But I don't feel that like it was close to where we were, the town we grew up in, the city I was staying after I got married. So I don't know if it was something that it was not built yet, but I'm not really getting a clear picture on seeing it. So I feel like it was more, we went maybe to the site that it was going to be built, but I don't think that it was there yet. Like I'm not seeing it there. I'm not seeing the construction of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was clearly seeing like whenever I met my husband, I was clearly seeing stuff that was like the building on the wall and stuff. But it almost feels like the sense that it's being built. Like it doesn't seem like it's there yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Do you know what they used it for at all?
What did they use it for? I think it was to honor. It was just an honor. I don't know beyond that, but it just seems like it was an honor, something, I don't want to say to commemorate something, nothing like dying, but it was almost like an exaltation of something,
I was just curious if it was connected to Anubis.
I do feel that it's connected to the afterlife. So that would make sense that it's connected to Anubis. I feel like it has something to do with the sun. It has something to do with the sun hitting it, and it's not a portal, but I want to say it's highly significant to the sun hitting it in the sense of that sun connecting to the afterlife. So maybe in that way a portal. So the sun. The best way I could say is it's like the inner layer of here's the sun hitting it, and then in the afterlife, in the underworld, it's the connection point of that life force energy, like being fed to the underworld. Like it's the continuation of that whole thing.
Awesome. Wow.
It was real important for them to like have the sun in a certain position. Like it wasn't just happenstance place. Like this was super thought out of how the sun is connected to it and that energy going through it. So maybe it's like a vessel, like a vehicle of that sun connecting that energy to the underworld, because it does have to do with death. and the connection to death, and they want that light to still be fed even into the afterlife.
I see. Okay, interesting. So let me ask you this. When you guys died, did they mummify you guys at all, or did they just bury you?
Oh yeah, everybody was, the whole army of, afterlife caretakers were mummified. They took our organs out and placed them to the side. Everything was like preserved in jars, like everything was, yeah, they mummified us. They mummified the slaves that were going to the afterlife. They mummified the whole lot of us that were going.
So let me ask you this. Recently they discovered a tomb with the whole bunch of people. This wouldn't be any connection to your guys' tomb, would it be?
They recently discovered it too. If it
In
was
Egypt, a bunch of people.
I don't know, but I want to say there were, I was like hundreds, like there was hundreds of people that were like taken out, like for this purpose.
Do you know if they've ever found your guys' graves?
Yeah, I feel like they have. I don't know if it's the recent one, but they've definitely found it. And they definitely found, because it wasn't, I mean, the mummies are all sporadically kind of placed. Like there are some closer, and there's some more farther out, and it's almost like the farther out you get is also significant of the role of this person playing in that lifetime. So the family members were like a bit closer, and then there were other tombs like surrounding the main tomb, and that's where like the slaves were. Like the further out you get, there were slaves and there were falcons and there were cats, but it was like these layers of like army protection and like the toughest, I don't want to say toughest, but like the closest people to you in that lifetime were the closest to you in death as well.
Okay, so I just got an idea. So is this because of the dark forces that were invading? Were they afraid that that as they cross over that they would be taken, or there would be some type of interference, so they would need protection to be able to cross over?
Yeah, it was for protection, and then it was also for caretaking too, because the Pharaoh was very, people took care of it on many levels in this life. So if you had somebody that would do like menial tasks, but it was also for protection too. I mean, they wanted protection on the other side too, and they very much ensured that anywhere that they could, because I don't know that they sensed that it was evil, but they knew that there was a balance, right? So they knew that there was, just in life, that there would be good and evil on the other side of the afterlife too. And in order to have help with that, the balance of it, you're gonna need people to do rituals over there. You're gonna need people, to do everything you did in this life on the other side too. And it was like an army too. So I don't think it was generally perceived as just pure evil, but there's evil there, there's good there, and you need somebody to help you balance it.
So let me ask this then. Let's go back to after you took your last breath. You said you saw the dust. You close your eyes as you're crossing over. Does this actually take place? Do you see your body there? Do you see your husband? Do you see your baby? Let's cross over and tell me what actually happens. Let's see if we can go through that. Be there now. Let's go through the process and tell me what actually does happen. And what do you think as you're crossing over?
Oh, okay. Well, the baby's not there because the baby was, I don't want to, the baby died a bit before we died.
Right.
So
the baby wasn't waiting for you?
Oh, you mean the act like the zero body of the baby? Oh, okay. I thought you meant physically the mummy part. Okay.
No. After you cross over,
Oh,
um,
sorry. Okay.
yeah, after you cross over to the other side, once you take your last breath and you're looking back down at your body, I want you to go through the process and just explain to me what you see and what happens as you're passing over to the other side. Do you see your body? Do you see anything? Do you have any thoughts? Let's go through that to your last day, last breath. Let's go to the process and just tell me what the experience is.
You're kind of feeling a sense of detachment, and you're feeling your spirit detached, and you're seeing your body, your physical body laying there, and you're feeling kind of like this suction towards up is the best way to describe it. It's more so than up, is just a separation. Okay, so the best thing I can put to it is it feels like you're going up because it's the pulling of your soul into your body, and you can see yourself for a bit, but then it's like, imagine you're watching a movie and someone's turning the volume down and it's getting progressively black and the scene is like fading away. That's what it's sounding like and looking like visually as you're leaving that, because you're like going to a different place. But as you're tuning out of this, that's what it looks like. It's like somebody's turning the volume down and someone is just kind of making that picture go to black. And then what do I see after that? Is just kind of like, I mean, it's still in that darkness. It's still just like a void. I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's what it is. It's
Are you passing through a dimension? Is that what that void is? Is it like the second dimension?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's hard to put a place on it because it's just really blackness. I mean, you don't see anything, you don't hear anything. Imagine being underwater in pure blackness. And it's equally scary and equally peaceful. You don't feel like you're drowning or anything, but it's just absolute nothing. There is no sound, and it's peaceful in the way that it does feel like water. That you're not. I mean, I wasn't scared. I wasn't terrified or anything. It was just kind of like, all right, here we are. We're just kind of floating through this, and you don't really know what to expect, and you're just there. But it's weird to not have your physical body anymore and just be experiencing that. And maybe that's why there's no nothingness, because now that physical body has left, and you don't have those. It's almost like the physical body's left. You don't have those senses anymore. So that's where your consciousness goes, is to a place where you're not experiencing those senses anymore, because that's what this body was to experience. Now you're out of that shell.
Yes. So the shell is where the feelings come in.
Yeah, the show really, even the fear that you have of things, and it's really emotionless, and it might sound sad, but it's not. It's more peaceful. But there's a lot. It's not that you don't have emotions anymore, but it's my physical body now would be scared to be in that place. But all of those things like fall away. Like there's no sight, there's no sound, there's no smell, and there's no fear. There's no fear, but there's no it's just very placid and in the middle. And it's not scary. The way I'm describing it might be scary because that's what your body would think, but you don't have that anymore. It's just this, like you are in this ether and you're in a sense of ether. So you're not experiencing that anymore. And it's a calmness. It's like a burden has been lifted off of you to feel all those things emotionally. Like you don't realize what a burden it was. It was a gift and a burden to feel everything you felt in this life. But that weight is completely been lifted off of you in this layer, and it feels nice. It feels like relaxing.
Nice. Okay, so what happens next? Do you get to see your husband again? Is he there with you? Are you alone? Does he eventually show up in a light, or what happens? Let's go through. Tell me.
The presence of him, yeah. But it's really hard to describe with the words, because you're not seeing somebody's physical body. You know that it's them. you know, the same way if somebody walks into a room behind you and you know who it is before they speak, if you know them really well, you just know what their presence feels like, and it's just the essence of their presence. So yeah, he's there.
So you're using different senses now, and now you're in your spirit body. So now you can feel him energetically, is what you're saying?
Yeah. It's a very different setup, you know. It's a very different setup, and it's hard to describe with the words because you're so used to experiencing something in this body. So this is not that. It's his energetic presence, and you can. It's more of a. It's and then it's like, okay, so it's kind of like your whatever the next layer is after that darkness. You're getting your senses back, but in a different way, because I can see something now, whereas before it was just the void. Now I can see something, but it's very like abstract. It's presence, but imagine it's like a blobby candle thing. I don't know. It's like still you're in this ether, and now it's light. It's lighter. You're not in the void. It's light now. It's not an overwhelming light, but it's a light space, and then it's almost like he's a light too, and he has this like golden orange kind of glittery like presence, almost like a candle burning, but imagine it was like a very subtle glittery candle is the best way I can describe it. It's not, it's almost like a gaseous substance of energy there. And you know that it's him. You don't see any identifying features of him. You can't see his face, you know. You've lost all of your other senses other than like the essence of yourself. I guess that's the best way to explain it. It's like you are the essence of yourself, and that's all you got left. You're that, and your loved ones are that. And you're going back to like join each other at that same like blob of matter. I know that sounds like not real.
What color is his light? Is his essence? What color do you see?
Orange. It's orange. It's like a golden orange.
And what about yours?
Yeah, mine is. Yeah, it's almost like it changes. Like, did you ever watch a fire and how the fire burns different colors? It's like it goes through stages. So I feel like right whenever I was entering this, mine was like a whitish purple around it, and then it also became that golden orange, same color. It's going back to the same thing. Like we're being, I don't want to say sucked into, but kind of drawn to. You're moving along a path. You're moving along. I mean, it's not like a path that you see. It's just kind of like a light that's surrounded you, not in the sense of a tunnel where people describe like an NDE, but just like it's super vague. Like there's no outline, there's no border, there's no like road that you're going down. It's just kind of you're in this ether. You are the ether, and then you are surrounded was what you recognize as your loved ones, but in the sense that they're this ether and that you know you are too, and you're just going back to that source.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. And do you see your little baby there? Is she with you guys? Do you see her light anywhere? Do you eventually?
Yeah, everybody's here. I mean, I would say it's a great feeling, but the place is kind of devoid of feeling, but it's not in a bad way. It's not in a sad way. It's more of just like you're beyond the earthly feelings you felt here. There's a sense of peace, if I had to put it that way. Like there's a sense of like belonging. You're not scared at all. Like it's calming, I guess is the best way I can describe it. But it's kind of like, yeah, everybody's just kind of here. It's cool, you know. It's just not like.
And where do you go from here? Do you move on to another space where you guys turn to like more physical lighter beings or anything? Do you move up or down? How do you get to the point of reincarnation?
Yeah, I feel like we're still floating. We're still floating into this, you know, it's you're all kind of being meshed into one. I mean, you still have a sense of your identity, what you could call it. You know that there are others with you, but I think that it's almost like, imagine like you're all your little balls of Play-Doh, and then you're getting smushed into one big ball of Play-Doh. Let's going back to the source. Now they're gonna take that energy and pluck out other little balls of Play-Doh from it and make you reincarnate, but it's almost like that's the feeling of why you feel connected to some relatives too. That kind of makes sense now, where you feel like you've lived clips of other people's life and your family. It's because like you've been all balled up in this source energy, and whenever you reincarnate, they're just plucking from this big ball of energy. So some of your stuff was your own stuff that you experienced in the lifetimes before, but some of it's also people that you were close to. Like it could be like a memory of someone in your family or someone that you were close to, because they kind of smush up all your energies in back to the source. And then whenever you kind of get doled out on the other side, it's not necessarily all your own. It's not necessarily, you lose your sense of identity. They do that on purpose. It's like they don't want you to like stick to this hard and fast identity that you once knew throughout lifetimes. It's kind of like almost like a mismatch of ingredients of you and your loved ones, and whenever you're balled back up into it, they could pluck some of like others, things that you were surrounded in too, that you got all grouped in with. Did you cut out?
No, I'm here. I'm here. That's amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I just saw
Okay.
something for a second, sorry.
Good. No, that's awesome. Thank you for all of that. Beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to close the scene, and we're going to before you go, do you remember what your name was that they called you?
I don't know my name.
Okay, we'll find out later. We'll find out in a second. So is this a good time to call in your higher self?
Sure.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to pull in from that before we close it, or did you think that was good for the message?
That's good. That's good.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and close that scene now. We're going to let her continue on her journey there, and hoping that everything that we did today would help assist with any healing. And so we're going to close that scene, and now we're going to ask to call in the higher self of Nikki. And so can I please have all of the consciousness of Nikki return back into the body, fully integrating? And can I please speak to the higher self of Nikki?
Yes.
Beautiful. Am I speaking to the higher self of Nikki now?
Yes.
Beautiful. Blessings and love. I love, honor, and respect you. Thank you for connecting with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. Higher self, I don't remember if you told me what your name was. I know we did a session once before, so I did get to speak to you, but do you have a name that you go by?
Oh yeah, we did. It's Ashana.
Ashana? Beautiful, beautiful name. Thank you, Ashana. I would love to ask some questions and see if we can get possibly a body scan. But before we begin, can I just ask a few questions about her life in Egypt that you took her to?
Sure.
Beautiful. So number one, thank you for taking us there. I know she was very curious about seeing what that life was like. Can you tell her why you accepted to show her that life?
I think that it was needed for just growth in general and healing.
Were we able to do any healing there when we were there?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I know she carried a little bit of guilt, or she felt like she she felt like she could do more for her baby when she lost her baby. So
Right.
is there anything carrying from that that she's carrying in her body that we need to release today?
I think over just all the lifetimes too, there's just a heavy burden on her heart that just her heart feels heavy. She feels like she can always save the world and feels guilty when she can't save people. So it was definitely a good release for that lifetime because it started there, but it's carried over into many lifetimes too. And it was good to release that because sometimes there's just nothing you can do.
Right. Right. Okay, so beautiful. And also, what was her name in Egypt there? Can you tell her what her name was? Are you able to say it?
It's something with an E, like a tail, I'm gonna say.
Eteu?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was her, what was she considered? Was she Egyptian or was she something else?
She was Egyptian. Uh-huh.
Okay. And let's see. And so the person that she was married to, what was his name?
What was his name?
She said it was Imhotep or something. Or I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Imhotep. I
What was-
don't, I don't know that was if it was the pharaoh or if that was or for her husband. Imhotep, but that sounds right.
let's see, what was it?
No,
Ahotep, Ahotep or something like that. Ahotep. I can't say these words. I see how she struggles. It's hard to pronounce.
Imhotep, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious, what dynasty was his family in that she perished?
It was the first, I believe, first or second. I mean, this was early on.
Uh-huh. So was this like after the flood? These civilizations in Egypt, was it after Inky and Lil and all of them? Was this way later?
I feel like it was early compared to time frames now, but it seems to be, yeah, it seems to be after that, but it does seem to be very early on still.
So were the star people still coming down and living amongst the people on Earth?
It was right at the end of that. It was,
When they were leaving?
yeah, they were coming down, but they were annoyed with people worshiping them. They didn't want to be seen as that. So it was also they were alive during that transition of them leaving, so maybe whenever she was a child, and even a child doesn't fully understand it. So they were there, but they were definitely a transition of leaving. So as she got older, they weren't there. But it was still very fresh in people's minds. But whenever she was little, she would get whispers of this, of not whispers, but people would talk about it. But at the same time, in a child's mind, the concept of what this wasn't fully grasped. So by the time she was older, it was people were still talking about it, but they weren't there in their presence anymore. It was like right after they left.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for that. So, and me and her, we knew each other as children there in Egypt.
Yes.
How many lifetimes have we been, have we known each other? Nikki and
I feel like it's quite a few. I mean, I feel like it's quite a few that you your path seemed to cross again. I mean, it's a decent amount. I want to say like 15 or so. I mean, there's a decent amount of times that your paths have crossed.
Awesome. Wonderful. That is really cool. And so her family there in Egypt, is there anything you wanted to tell her about the family that she had in that life? Anything special that she didn't get to find out about?
The family was very proud of her, and that, and even with her passing too, the family was very proud that she, the family knew that she didn't want to go towards the end there, but it's almost like she upheld their family name because they didn't come from a place of royalty, and although she wasn't necessarily even married into royalty, it was definitely a different status in her lifetime. And the family was very proud that she just carried that with grace. And it's, she was scared and didn't want to die at the time, but it did accept it with grace on a front facing level to where people didn't know that, that she, common people didn't know that, and it just looked like that she accepted this in her role. But the family is very proud of the way that she handled all that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. Let's see if there's anything else. And what about her baby that she lost? Was she was able to have comfort with that and connect with her once again?
Yeah, they connected in the afterlife, and there was very much an acceptance of that it wasn't her fault. Like after she died, there was that acceptance. But again, with the not getting enough time thing, that seems to be like a recurring theme in a lot of lifetimes, especially that one. I think that is why Egypt was so significant, because there's a lot of things about that life that she enjoyed, but she didn't get the time. She really wanted to have a baby, didn't get the time. She really wanted to experience her husband a bit more, didn't really get the time. So I think that's why it was such a huge impact, is because it felt like you really just wanted more of it.
So let me ask you this. Is there a parallel life where she actually got more time with her husband and the role was different?
Oh. I mean, there's always, parallels happening. But I feel like she was really focused on this particular, like,
Right.
life happening there. I'm not saying that parallels didn't happen. I'm not saying that somewhere they didn't get to have more time. But for whatever reason, it was like she was stuck on this one. She didn't really experience that. I think that's why it had such an impact. There's definitely parallels where things happen differently, but she wasn't a part of those, or she didn't, I don't know, or she didn't recognize existing in those as much as she did in this one.
Or maybe this is the one where she didn't get to have a long time, so this is the one where she needed to heal from.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Right. There, yeah, I'm sure that there are definitely different dimensions, but yeah, this was the most traumatic because it was cut short.
Because this is the one that's affecting her in her life now, in this particular life, in this timeline.
Yes, exactly.
Because we're all about healing timelines here. Right? We want to get to the root of this stuff and pull it out by the root. Beautiful. Let's see. And what about her husband? Anything you want to say about that? I know in this life things are parallel or whatever, but is there any messages there that she needs to know about the connection with her husband? I know she's somewhat found him now, but it's like there's the magnets need, I don't know what's going on. Is there any enlightenment or anything you'd like to, however cryptic or whatever you think she needs to know or not know, or what do you have to say about this?
It's like they have been going through this thing where they're so drawn to each other and they don't get enough time. It wasn't just in this lifetime. It's almost like, imagine, best friends finding each other and all these things that they've experienced in their life, and they're just bursting at the seams to tell each other. So whenever they find each other, they're just like blah 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 blah, blah for hours, and they never shut up. It's almost like this huge. They're so drawn to each other. It has almost become a downfall throughout lifetimes. Is they're so drawn to each other. They're so excited to see each other, and they recognize who each other is, and they're so thankful to find each other. But it's almost become a downfall in the sense of like they're overwhelmed with each other's presence, and they're like, I don't care what we have to do to be together. And then it's just like, well, there's other things in life, there's other aspects in life, you can't just have that fall to the wayside. But they're very much missing that time with each other, and it's happened more than once. They really feel that they were cut short. So it's super cute that they run to each other like that, but it's almost like two cars that crash into each other head first. Like you're not doing any good in that sense. Like you have to calm down, and you have to I don't even know exactly what the answer is as far as that.
Do you think if they live together, it would be better for them because at least they get to have that time with each other? Do you think they would be able to calm down after a while? I mean,
I don't even know, because it's almost all consuming. Like they don't care about going to work, and they don't care about answering the phone. Like there's nothing that is not more important to them than each other. Absolutely nothing. Literally, the house could be burning down and they would burn down with it. So it's almost like to their detriment now. They really have to be careful of that, because there's other things that are happening in this reality that if you don't pay attention to them, they're going to cause each other problems, and you're not going to get that time again. So now you have to tread so lightly, because you have to pay attention to these other things, even though you don't want to. Like, I understand it's very important that you're with each other. I understand you're really excited to be around each other, but if you don't pay attention to these other things, you're again not going to get that time. Like something is going to, I'm not saying death is going to cut you short, but something else is going to ruin it if you pay attention to absolutely nothing else. So I don't know what the answer is to like make them calm down, but they're just like kids in a candy store. Like they don't care about anything else. And it's, if you don't be careful, it's going to be a detriment of not having that time again.
okay. So they just have to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to figure it out, and it's gonna take a lot of communication, because they're so wrapped up in each other that a lot of times if things get out of line and one has to go do something, the other one, it's not that they're jealous or let down, but it's just still, I just really want to be with you, I just really want to be with you. So it's almost like this push and pull now, back and forth of like life responsibilities, and finding your place in that, and allowing that other person to have their space. And it's not that they want to smother each other, because they both do definitely like their alone time. But there are smothering aspects of them wanting to be around each other, in the sense of like they're so excited. It's just going to take a lot of communication. It's going to take a lot of openness and communication and patience with each other, because now you have to work to find that place where you belong, and you can't just be overwhelmed with the excitement of it, because yeah, it's amazing, and yeah, it's cool, and it's super special, but you're going to lose it again if you're not careful. Just, it's almost like to your own detriment. Like the other times before, I feel very much for death, and it was outside forces. It was outside forces that took them apart. So that's why it's so intense right now. Like now that they're together, it's like, oh, there's nothing stopping us, and any outside force that they perceive is getting in each other's way, they're like, screw it, I don't care what that is. I don't care about absolutely anything at all. And it's like, whoa, like this is crazy. You have to have a way to eat, or you're literally gonna die, and then you won't get that time together. I know that's being a bit dramatic, but I mean, it's to that degree with both of them. You know.
Right. Well, what do you think about us having like this little trio power team where we can all work together and work for the same cause and help support him and his cause, and her being a scriber at heart and me being able to help promote? Do you think we're a little a power team, or what do you think is of this whole situation? Because I have the tools and opportunity to do what we're doing now. This is so powerful. And I know he's a skeptic, and you know, she's just a clear channel and open-minded and such a beautiful vessel and soul sister that I just enjoy working with her. So what do you think? What do you see like our future in this mean? Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing?
Oh, absolutely, yes, and I think that you're all a key part to helping each other, absolutely. And I think that'll help just in different aspects in each one of your own individual selves, you know, like the evolution of yourself. It's not that you would all be great and definitely achieve whatever you need to do on your own, but it's just so much easier with each other. And just the ideas that you all bring to the table with each other, it's like you connect the dots way more rapidly, you know, and you can progress things way more rapidly with each other's help. You would have done it before. You would have all done it on your own. It just would have taken a whole lot longer, you know. So it's almost like you're all each other's accelerators, help with your mission in life.
Beautiful. I like that. That's the power I like. You know, the wheel keeps on turning.
Yes.
You know, maybe tiny short pit stops, but there's going to be a reason for it, right?
Right.
We're here to pick someone up. Beautiful. And what do you think she should be doing as far as her mission, her light worker mission? Is she on her right path? I know she's curious about the irisology. Is that something she needs to look into, do you suggest? I know she's curious about it.
Yeah, I mean her yeah, she definitely needs you guys to because her path is so moving. It's got kicked off its path so many times. You know, she definitely knows what she needs to do. It's definitely through natural health. The iridology thing, yeah, I think it would be helpful. But it's also, you're also, all three of you are going to help each other find each other's people, which is a huge accelerator to your life path. Like for example, I think like her life path is in natural health. And it's not that she would never find the people that she could help, but she would find them so much more slowly that it would like almost make her give up. It would make her give up and then it would fall off her path if it weren't for you and Rob. So you're all accelerators in each other's path in that way where you're going to help each other find like the missing pieces and like the people that you need to help and align with on your path. Like I said, you would have all found them on your own, but it's just you would have become deterred. It would have taken so much longer without each other's help. So her particular path is definitely natural medicine and bringing people to find natural cures and helping heal them in that way. And it's difficult to find people that need that because oftentimes people don't turn to natural medicine until they're completely in ruins, and then it's a lot harder to heal them. But what you guys are going to do for her specifically is help her find those people that are more accepting of that, and then it's a lot easier to heal those people whenever they're not like, you know, stage 4 of some terminal illness. You know, you can offer preventative medicine. Her thing is like basically like preventative medicine rather than healing people at their later stages. You know, and that's critical to what you're going to do for her because it'll help her find those people that are at those stages that can really be helped by those things.
Beautiful. We're in the same field. There's more than one way to skin a potato, right? Beautiful. That's awesome. So let's see, I wanted to ask some questions about, I have my own personal questions, but I was wondering, do we need to give her a body scan and see if there's anything going on? I know she's been feeling some psychic attacks, and I know she had this weird close encounter last night. Can you just tell her really quick about this close encounter last night? What was that about? The guy that was really creepy, was he a reptilian?
I feel that there's dark energy surrounding him. The attacks are definitely like strategic. I don't know. Like I feel like they're definitely purposeful and intentful at a certain time. And I definitely feel that that man he was himself, but he was not himself in the sense of like he was overcome by something, in that moment. Like I feel like he was definitely controlled by something that was not of him, so
Was he sent there to get her or something? Was he waiting for her?
he wasn't waiting for her. He just happened to be walking down the street at that time, but there was a certain time where something overtook him. He's a drug addict, he's an alcoholic. So that allows them a lot more easier access, and that's why he was chosen. He was also chosen because he just happened to be there. I mean, he didn't have to be a drug addict or alcoholic to be chosen for that like mini task, but it made it easier for them to get in. But it was more of a situational thing. Like anybody could have walked down the street at that same time, if they were able to access that person, they absolutely would have.
Is that alley a portal way or anything?
Yeah, it's not good.
Are there any portals there we need to close?
That alley, I mean, it just feels there's been a lot of people, I don't wanna say attack, but I guess, there's just been a lot of negative energy surrounding that particular little way right there. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous intersection. The person that lives behind is dangerous too, because they're accessing her. They're constantly attacking her. The neighbor that's across the street that yells out obscenities all the day and night, it's some sort of negativity that will suck anybody in that will let it, or if they're able to access people. There's a lot of people that are down in this area. There's a lot of people that are hot, in the light energy too in this area, but there are a lot of people that are alcoholics and drug addicts in this area that are easily accessed. And they'll use them in any way that they can.
Okay, is it possible, I would like to be able to get possibly a couple angels, couple archangels. I don't know, maybe Archangel Michael might have some ideas, but I want to place a couple angels at the entrance over there of the alleyway for protection. Just permanently place one there just for like security protection, so that way any dark energies around will not be allowed to enter in this area, and she will be safe and protected.
Okay.
Can we do that for her?
Yeah.
Can we?
The building itself though is safe and protected. But yes, the alleyway definitely, but I feel that there's a huge duality in this whole area. It's really weird. Like there's super, super negative and super positive forces that are constantly at war. Like it feels like it's just like a battleground. I mean, it's more so than, like, I don't know.
Okay, so I would like to send love, number one, send love to her home, to her area, so that way the love spreads. I want to send love to surround her whole home, her whole land. That way it spreads out to the trees, to the flowers, to the neighbors. And I would like to know if there's any way we could put some sacred geometry, maybe put a box in the middle of her apartment complex. So that way, if there is any negative energies or negative entities that are there, that they can go into this box for safety and protection, because I know that they do not have to harm if they don't want to. They don't have to be negative and harming people. They can still be negative and not harm people. So I just want to offer them a safe place to go for next time, so we can take them along the way. If there's any you know, dark energies around there, any reptilians or anybody who wants to go and cross over, positive polarized, you know, this is their opportunity. I just want to give them that option, because I want them to know at this time, you know, Earth is ascending. So I do want to put the word out and send the love out to her home and her area and her neighborhood. And I know if there's drug addicts, I know they're being used as vessels. So I just want to put archangels, angels in the neighborhood for protection and just place them there. So that way we can start working with the land, because I do want to do grid work. I do want to start healing the land, and I know it is possible. So I just want to ask if we can possibly start this, and if we could do this higher self.
Yes, let's do it.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do that now, and just tell me what that starts to look like, and if you can feel the energy, and just can you describe it?
Are we making the box for the entities first, or are we outside in the alley placing?
What would you like to do first? Should we do
Let's start with the box.
okay, let's do the box. Let's make it beautiful. How do you let's let them know, like a beacon, let them know wherever they are, they can find their way to this box. And once they know that they get there, we can take them away at the end. If they're ready to go now, this is their opportunity. I know they have got loved ones on the other side. I know there's been, you know, we've had mantis, we've had grays, we've had reptilians, draconians, sarconians. I honor and respect each and every one of them. So this is their opportunity. I told them I would be coming. So if there's anyone in the neighborhood who wants to go, they can find their way to this box.
It looks like outlines of, like, energetically, like people, and it's almost like they're laying on the side, and it's almost kind of like they understand that's their home, and that's like they're laying down to bed and they're comforted by it. You know, it's almost like they want to rest. So visually, it looks like the outline of like a humanoid form. There are different colors, you know, different levels of, I don't know if you want to call it good or bad, but just different levels of intensity. And it's almost like they're just like laying down for bed. Some of them are orbs. There's some orbs going in there. And they're just all kind of like sifting and floating down, as if they're laying down and they're resting there.
Inside the box?
Yeah.
So they've accepted this?
Yeah, they're still coming. There's layers of them kind of sifting. It's almost like different placeholders for entities, different ones for just freshness that is lingered here. You know, different, I think that's why they're different colors, because it's like they're different things, you know, some of them are orbs, some are people, some of them are just like that energy that was here, that's general and vague, that's not attached to like a particular entity. I think some of them are entities, but now it's calmed down. Before they were like coming through in like scattered layers of like boom, 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 boom. But now, yeah, now it's calm.
Beautiful. And they're laying down, resting.
Yeah, it's like they're laying down and they're accepting of that. It's almost like I felt like they were just tired of doing it anymore. It's almost like they're accepting the piece of just resting.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, higher self, for that assistance. So let's go ahead and place the archangels now. Let's place some angels around. Let's put one in the alleyway for protection. So that way, if there's any dark energy that tries to come around, it will not be welcome. Or if we can leave a box there and they can simply go into the box, and the archangel that's there can always assist them along the way, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, I would like Archangel Michael. Remember how he burned stuff up last time? I mean, he's
Oh,
not
yeah.
around. Like, that's what we need there.
All right, let's call in Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, let us know when you see him. Let's bring him in. Archangel Michael would like for your assistance to protect her alleyway. I know that that you're able to do many things. Let me know if you see or sense him there.
I see him, yeah, he's in the alley. And he
Okay.
looks-
Ask him, will he protect your alleyway, or if he will place his own special protection there for you.
Oh, okay, Archangel Michael, will you protect the alleyway, or would you like to just place your own protection for us there? I think that, yeah, I think that he'll place the protection there for us, but I think he's busy.
Yeah, he's
Sorry,
always
like,
busy.
in general, like, I think he doesn't want to stand there the whole time. Put his protection there.
He's like, what is she trying to do to me? I am a busy person. Well, I love you,
He's like,
Archangel Michael.
all day, what are you crazy? But I'll help you.
Thank you. Maybe a sigil or something, maybe a symbol or a sacred protection symbol or something.
Yeah, could you draw us a symbol just to protect us, especially in the intersection too, is where I think it is most. So we would appreciate if you would put a protection specifically on that part. Yeah, he will. He'll put yeah, it's like a symbol, it's just like an energetic symbol.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And now you will know that you will be safe and protected there.
Yes.
You have the angels watching over you. And this neighbor of yours, did his entities leave? Did his darkness leave? Or do we need to put an angel or a symbol in the in your apartment complex? Or your neighbor that's got bad vibes?
Oh, the neighbor, she's across the street.
Can we send her love without
Oh,
harming?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll send her love. I do that all the time whenever she's acting up.
Does it help?
Sometimes, I think she has a lot of walls built up, but, so sometimes it's hard to break through, but I still send it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see. She wanted to know about the psychic attacks that she's been having lately. Have they been coming from anyone specific she wanted to know?
They're absolutely targeted. They're targeted, for the reason of throwing her off her game. Like we were talking about how you three all are helping to accelerate each other's growth. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like it doesn't like that. You know what I mean? These things don't like that. They don't want to throw you off your game. So whenever they draw that acceleration, it's like you just turned the lights on with somebody. Like you were quietly doing your thing, but now you just turned on the disco ball and the music started playing, and all the entities that were busy doing something else just turned around and were like, you.
Oh gosh. Well,
what are you doing? Like you could have just quietly got away with it. But here's the thing: if you would have just slipped under the radar, this would have taken so much longer. It's the acceleration that they're worried about, because their game is the long haul. They're going to screw you up, and it's like a game of chess that they're really, really good at, and they're not in to win it right now. They'll sit there for years and play you until you're exhausted and you give up. And that's kind of their whole MO. But once they see that somebody's progressing so accelerating, and you're kind of putting these pieces of puzzle and you're getting some momentum, that's the reason for the attacks, because it's kind of like, oh shoot, like they're not screwing around. We have to do something. This long haul thing isn't gonna work anymore. So now we're gonna start playing other things.
Right. Do you suggest that she uses rosemary oil on her third eye for protection from psychic attacks? Does that help at all? What does that do? I was told to use that once. Is that a powerful protection?
Yeah, I think rosemary is good. I think
Or would she need something different?
I think lemongrass is good. Also frankincense is another good one. It's just kind of, if it's a different one for each different attack. So I feel like you kind of just have to be drawn to which one you need at the time. Like you can just ask and be told, which one do I need right now? Because they're going to come at you from all different angles. So it's going to probably be different based on the attacks as far as, there's general ones that are great for everything. Like there's ones like rosemary and frankincense. Those are general ones that are good for anything, but you can kind of get a sense of what you'll need specifically for whatever type of attack, because they're going to come at different things. So you could apply different ones depending on what you're feeling or what you need in that moment.
Okay, great. For example, lemongrass, what is that good for? And what type of psychic, can you give us just a couple different versions that we should, that you're speaking of?
Yeah, I think lemongrass is good for clarity. So if you're feeling like a fog, if you're feeling just a general vagueness sense of like head fog, confusion, don't really know what's going on, lemongrass is good for clarity. It brings your focus, like a hyper focus to you, and gets rid of that fog. Rosemary is like a cleaner. So if it feels like a dirty energy, that's the best way to describe it. If it feels like it's some sort of, like, I know they all feel dirty, but I mean in the sense of like this is just like dingy and heaviness to it. It feels like that, rosemary. Frankincense is another one that's uplifting. If you're getting attacks for dreams, lavender is good, but also frankincense is good. I think a combination of them together, it forms like a barrier. Frankincense is like a barrier of protection. So just in general, a sense of protection to where maybe you use one of those whenever you identify what the attack feels like. And then as a final layer of protection, frankincense is good to put that just wall between you from it happening again.
Uh-huh. Is cinnamon good for anything? If you burn cinnamon sticks, does that do anything?
Yeah, cinnamon is definitely purifying. It brings that warmness. So if, it's like the opposite of whatever you're feeling you're being attacked with. So cinnamon brings that warmness. It brings like the protection as far as like ancestors and other people around you. It feels like somebody has your back, cinnamon, So if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling a coldness, like a darkness in the sense that it's like a cold, evil entity and it's making you feel alone and like you have nobody, cinnamon really helps with that, and it will call on your loved ones and have that love surround you more, like you feel that warmth of them being there.
I see. Is that why I love to have cinnamon French toast for breakfast, to eat and smell and think about my ancestors?
Yes. It's very comforting. It's very comforting knowing that people are there to back you up.
Wow, that's awesome. Beautiful. And sage, that's also a serious one, right? To keep on hand all the time.
Sage is like the bleach of cleansing, It really is, it's abrasive. So I mean I want to use sage for everything, but it's also just what you personally align with too. But some people don't always sage because it's like almost too intense. Like you wouldn't like want to wash a silk blouse in bleach because it would absolutely eat through it. So first it's like you kind of have to identify energetically like what you're dealing with and like what level it is. If you're dealing with that level of toxicity, then absolutely bring out the bleach and kill it, But sage like energetically takes something to score level 1 of like nothingness. And if it's such a heavy energy that you need that, yeah, then absolutely. But if it's only like this feels kind of dingy, you don't want to take it all the way to base level, because then you have to put the warmness back energetically, which is fine. You can absolutely do that. You can play some music, dance around, and it's great to do that. But sometimes sage is almost like intense,
What about Palo Santo?
Oh yeah, now that one, that's like a more gentle one because it's cleansing, but it's just definitely more gentle, and it has that underlying like warmthness to it. Whereas like sage is like aligned with Saturn, like it takes everything, take. Palo Santo is going to like take what's needed to be taken, but also leave the residuals of like a little bit of good energy left behind, so you don't have to do so much work energetically. I feel like sage is almost like for like a demon possession, like you walk somebody's house and this is the exorcist, you feel this terrible heaviness that you really need to square one base level that sage. But Palo Santo is just kind of like, I'm having a bad day. Or, you know, a friend came over and they were depressed and kind of left that lingering little bit of something like that's Palo Santo.
Okay, I have one more. What about patchouli?
Oh yeah, patchouli's nice. That's a really warm one too. It's like I feel like that's even warmer than Palo Santo, and it's like definitely cleansing too. But it's less cleansing and more feeling of warmthness, putting back the warmthness, you know.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. That was awesome. That was very helpful. Is there any portals in her house that we need to close?
Portals.
Dark portals?
I feel it was more the alley, you know, the house itself, the apartment, the whole building itself is pretty safe. You know, it feels protected. I don't know if somebody maybe did that before whenever they were here, but I feel like there was definitely some sort of work done in this place before to turn it back around. And I could also just be picking up on to what the landlord did, because this place was in ruins and he's a very caring person and he put a lot of care. I think it sounds weird to say, but I think the building itself appreciates the care the landlord took to put back into this place to have it fully restored. It's almost like a person getting a facelift, you know?
Nice.
Like, yeah, like they feel pretty again. Like the building feels restored. It is happy that someone is taking such care. I mean, he restored like the original woodwork, and I think what he did for this place energetically, like, had a profound impact on it in general. Like the building is happy that someone loved it once again. You know.
Oh, well, we send love to the building. We send love to the whole area, so that way it just vibrates with love and that everybody feels it. Is there anything you want to scan with her body? Is there anything that she need, any healing she needs today? You want to scan her body and see?
Okay. I'll see.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel like a heaviness in her heart. Yeah, I just feel like there's a heaviness in her heart, but I don't see any of.
Attachments, entities?
No, I
All
don't
right.
see attachment entities.
Can we fill her heart up with love? Maybe love from Mother Gaia? Will Mother Gaia love to assist us today and maybe fill her up with some love in her heart?
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's do that. I'd love to ask Mother Gaia to just send a beam of love to her heart now. I know that heaviness is something that was carried through lifetimes, and since we were able today to help, I just like to fill it back up with love. And we can also get Archangel Raphael, if you would like, to send his love as well.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let me know how that feels and how that looks for her.
I mean, it definitely feels lighter. It feels like a release of pressure, like almost there's like an elephant that was like sitting on the chest, and it feels like that pressure, like the balloon is coming out, like the pressure being released.
Yes, let's release that pressure, allowing her to feel light as a feather. Floaty, light and fluffy like cotton candy.
Oh, it's weird. It's like getting stuck in the, like solar plexus, and it's like it feels like this big, huge ball is like coming to this tiny tube in the solar plexus, and it's like it's just a lot of weight, you know. So it's like getting stuck, but it's going through. It's going through.
Oh, yes, let's send it through with love. If you need to shrink it so that it can be really, really tiny, you can also do that. This is your energy. So however you feel you need to push it out, you can always assist.
Yeah, it's going, but it's almost like if you ever had something like stuck in your throat, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like you needed like some help being pulled out of it.
Yes, let's pull it out. Go ahead, keep pulling. We can send it back to the earth for healing. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and do that. Pull it all out. Send it to the earth. And as it goes out into the earth, we're going to ask that, Mother Gaia receives it and ask that Archangel Raphael to send his love into you, filling up all that's with love light. Just going to keep that flow going. Tell me if you feel it.
I do.
Beautiful. All right. Let me know when it's done.
Yeah, it feels like it's been released.
Beautiful. And how does it feel now with the new light weight love light?
I mean, it feels great. It's like I didn't remember that feeling.
Beautiful. Is there anything else carried in her body, higher self, that needs assistance, needs releasing or healing today?
I don't think so. I think it was mainly just that weight, that was a huge burden lifted off. So thank you.
All right. Beautiful. So I just have a couple quick questions for you. I don't know if you're able to help me or not. I have some questions for myself. We were given some numbers. Are there some dates that were connected to my higher self? And I know that we all work together. Is there anything you can tell me about 13, 19, and 21, and if it's connected to January? What do these dates mean?
13, 19, 21. It's an energetic pushback of what's going on. I think that it's on some level, on different levels, and it could materialize in different events. But it's like an energetic pushback of what they're doing, It's like an energetic pushback of them. I mean, it's I don't want to say bad. It's nothing to be afraid of because it's nothing that you can't handle. But just be aware that it's another force that is going to act up on those days.
Okay. Do we need to stay home on those dates and just hang out with your loved ones?
I don't know if it will be that catastrophic. I don't know how to prevent the things that they're going to do because I don't even know what the things they're going to do are yet. I don't think that they've even. So it's hard to say like what the thing is, but it's just like an awareness. Like you need to be careful. You need to be aware.
Okay.
Just do some extra protection on those days.
Okay.
You don't know how to avoid. If you could
Does
get
this,
the cause of them.
what was that?
I don't know if you could get to the root cause of them because I almost
Okay.
feel like it's going to be a spur of the moment thing. Like they're going to pivot on a dime to try to do something on those days energetically.
Mm-hmm. Is it connected to the second CERN that they just now created, I heard?
It's imagine like CERN is a ripple, yeah, it's like a ripple effect of what they're doing. So these things are gonna ripple through dimensions, they're gonna ripple through parallel universes. And it's almost like if somebody drops a pebble in the ocean and it's creating these waves. Those little upticks, those little waves, and those states that you're seeing, then it's the kickback of what is happening. And it's not, I don't even know what it is. It's not to be determined yet. It's kind of like they don't know they don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing. The impact this is gonna have on like so many different things. And these waves that you see coming are from these things that you need to be aware that they're going to be happening. And these people that are doing this don't fully comprehend the effect that it's going to have throughout everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a ripple, so whenever they do something big, we're gonna feel these little upticks of stuff that happens.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, thank you for that. I just wanted to ask one last question. Am I able to find out or locate my sister? I'm trying to find my sister, and I was wondering if you could possibly give me any information on that, my missing sister.
Your missing sister, well, whenever you go in and connect with her energy, I feel like you could tell, because I feel like you could go in and connect with her energy, and she also feels that, you know. But through that bond, I feel that's like how you're gonna get more information. Um, do you connect with her all the time? Are you still there?
I have a couple times in our sessions.
Okay. I feel like I just get this sense of like the more you should connect with her more, like almost like meditating on a daily basis, and that you would get that closeness, and whenever you get that closeness, that you're going to get more information. But it's almost like you really have to be consistent with that. Like you have to constantly make it a point to do that every day, and it's going to start flowing to you, like where she is, and find specifics about that. But the bond of you with you is always there, but you have to like connect with that again, and then you'll be able to see more. But where she is right now,
Yeah, is there a name or anything? I need like a last name, or at least a last name. I know her name, her first name, she goes by Amanda, from what I heard.
Amanda.
My mom named her Mariette, but they took her from my mother. They claim she died, but I don't believe it. I think she goes by Amanda, and that she looks like me, I heard, and that she was somewhere in Georgia, but I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I get the strong sense that it's south of here, that I don't, it's not in this state, it's not in your state, it's definitely south in general, so that would make sense if it's Georgia. It's sunny there. I mean, it's warm, I get the feeling of warmth around, the sun's out, it's a nice atmosphere. Just what I'm seeing is like it's a good energy around her. I don't see any type of like overwhelming negativity, or like that she's in danger or that she's in a bad situation. I generally get the sense that she's happy in life. But as far as the specifics of the town, or even if I could look on a map, I don't know of a town. And I don't even want to necessarily say Georgia for short. I just know that it's south. I know that it's warm. I do feel that there's mountains though. So even though it's, there's some sort of mountain around, the only thing I can compare it to, and I don't want to just recall this from what I know, but is there's a stone mountain in Georgia. It's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's a big monument that people visit. I'm not saying she's there, but that's visually like,
Did you say like Mount Rainier or something like that?
It's a big mountain. Yes, I mean this is like wherever she's at, you can see this mountain. So I don't know what the mountain's called, but visually I could see it, and it's like the best thing I compare it to is like Stone Mountain, not a other. And I'm not saying it is Stone Mountain, but it's a big mountain. It's people visit it. It's somewhat of a tourist attraction in the sense that it's big and majestic. It's like in the background, it's like big and majestic.
Do you see a sign with a name or a billboard with a name or anything? Ski resort?
I don't see a name. There's like a pull off place though. That is, I know this may not help, but there's a pull off place where people pull their car over and take pictures, and it's like a designated pull off spot. And this is this is like a national park. This is either part of a national park or right near a national park. And it's like a spot where people go and take pictures. It's like everybody pulls over the car and take pictures at this area. It's not a rest stop. There's no other structures there. It's just kind of like there's some wooden logs to like so cars wouldn't like go over. There's wooden logs. There's a barrier, a guardrail, and then there's these wooden logs this way to like make sure like cars wouldn't pull up any further or possibly like go over there. You park your car there and you walk over to like this little opening, and I mean it's a beautiful view. There's just a heck of a view where you can see just all around you like a panoramic, and people go there and take pictures.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So,
There's wait, there's a sign, I can't read it, but it's a picture. Okay. It's almost like a cartoon looking sun. Like, all right, it's red and it's yellow and it's blue. I don't know if it's like the national forest sign or national park sign. There's a circle and a triangle in it, and it's almost like a cartoon symbolic thing of like a mountains, and it's yellow and it's orange and it's blue. It looks very like almost 70s. Like I like the style of it. And I don't know if it's the name of that park. I feel like it's like maybe the logo of the park, but I'm not seeing the letters on it. But pictorially, that's what it looks like. It almost feels like it's the park's logo.
okay. Do you have any idea what her last name could be?
Yes. I feel like it was, I don't know if she's married, but I feel like it was changed initially from what it was. I don't know if that means she was married. I don't know if that means she's changed it. And I'm just feeling that from what it was initially at birth. But I don't know what it is, but I feel that it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Not what it was before. I don't know if that means she's married or if that means it is from whenever she was born.
Okay. All right. Well, higher self, I thank you for this. I thank you for your assistance. We're going to stop here. Do you recommend that we keep doing these little time traveling scenes, take her through many different times and maybe do things for the collective? Do you suggest we continue doing these? Are they helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely helpful for everyone involved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right, higher self. Well, at this time, I'm gonna say goodbye to you. I'm gonna say thank you for Archangel Michael, and say thank you so much. I love, honor, and respect you, and I am so grateful for all your help and assistance that you did for us today.
And thank you for everything.
Any last messages you have for me before you go?
I think that you should connect to your sister. You should think on it. You should ask, not just through the sessions, but just in your time as well. Whenever you meditate, just ask out loud, ask the questions that you're thinking, ask the answers, and the answers will definitely come to you. But I think that it will take some time, but I think that you'll get the answers that you're looking for through that.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to bring Nikki back because I know she's got things to do, and so do I. Otherwise, we would get stuck here all day. But I send you off with love and light, and till next time, thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, Nikki, go ahead and just relax. And I ask that all of the essence of you fully return now into your body nicely. I ask that Nikki move up, up, up through time, fully integrating back into your body. You are now fully integrated back into your body. Today is December 14th. It is 3:05 p.m. And you're at your home, you are safe, you are protected, and you feel great. And when you wake up, you will feel great all over. And I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And when I get to 5, you will be wide awake and fully rested. So at 1, your breathing is normal. Your cells are moving around in your body. You're starting to wake up. 2, you're becoming aware. You are in your physical body now, moving your arms and legs. 3, your mind, body, and soul is aligning and working together, all functioning, moving around in your body. 4, you are beginning to wake up now. You are hearing sounds all around you. You are back now in this time in existence. And 5, you are fully in your physical body. You are wide awake and alert, wide awake and alert, wide awake and alert, and feeling marvelous all over. Welcome back, girl. I'm sorry it's 15 minutes, a little bit late.
That's okay. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I had so much fun in Egypt. I just wanted to let you enjoy that. And it was great. So
That was awesome.
yeah, and my friend messaged me. She's like, yeah, I'll help you take away the entity. So I'm like, okay, we'll leave that for her. That's great. So thank you so much. How do you feel? Oh my God.
Great. It's real. Yeah, I need to go back and write stuff down too, because it's very much like a dream too, because yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it'll start, you'll still get stuff that'll be coming back. Memories will be coming back. Things will be coming back. So it's all just it's just going to continue on for here. So yeah, just, flow with it, accept it. I think you got a good story here. There's like a book right here, with whatever we have, and then whatever you can pull up. I always say we can totally write books about this stuff too.
Yes. I want to draw that thing. Real quick, I want to tell you, because that sign was like the most vivid thing that I got, with the questions of your sister, and I could draw it and I could find it. So now I'm going to go through and just look at things online that look like it, so I can align it with something, because you know what I mean?
Wow. This is so big. I know. I keep hearing the voice like, don't forget about me. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I don't want to keep you too long. I know that you have to go, and I know that I got to get my baby at 3:30. So we can always chit chat later.
Okay.
And catch up after though. But thank you so much. I'm glad
Thank
you had
you.
a
This
good
is amazing.
experience.
Yes.
The rings and stuff, and the baby. Yeah. Are you gonna tell Rob?
I'm gonna tell him. Yeah.
Yeah. Get him. Be like, listen, Imhotep or whatever your name is.
Right.
That's so wild. All right, girl. Well, I'm glad that you had a good experience. Till next time.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
send you this copy. I just got to edit my scripts out, and then I'll send you a copy of it too.
You have to show me later how to post it on my YouTube because I want to save, you know what I mean? I want to save it.
If I was you, I would download OpenShot. I think it is. I'll send you the link of what it is. That's what I
Okay.
edit my thing, and then I download it from there to there. It's super easy, super simple. So I'll send you all the
Okay.
information. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
All
Talk
right,
to you
thank
later.
you.
All right. Love you, girl. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let me see. I need to make sure I hit stop recording. I'm not going to lose this. Stop recording. Good. It's there.